You're watching UnrealEntGaming. This is Gohan from Dragon Ball Z. You want to see me turn Super Saiyan? Or should I take it to the next level? I'm also the narrator, too. Next time on Dragon Ball Z, make sure and smash subscribe to UnrealEntGaming.
With the very first major fight having to come from Super Dragon Ball Heroes willingly having to be the last encounter between Gogeta and Hearts, we now find ourselves in the climax of the Universal Conflict arc with Gogeta having to step face to face against Hearts, as the first major fight of the new year sets the tone for Gogeta having to counter one of Hearts' most powerful attack, and being the fact that it is only simply a giant meteor, the question is, what did Gogeta do to stop it? As I do want to welcome you all once more to my Super Dragon Ball Heroes Anime Episode 19 review, as of course this is the first major episode of the Super Dragon Ball Heroes promo anime for 2020, and what a way to kick things off than to have Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta go head to head against the seemingly unstoppable opponent, in that having to be Hearts, not only having to take on Jiren, Hit, 17, Piccolo, Trunks, Goku, and Vegeta together, but also sets the tone for this entire arc to end ever since the beginning of the Universal Conflict arc back in 2019, to where once again, if of course you guys are new to this channel and have a love and passion for all things Dragon Ball and anime related, then I do encourage you guys to smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications to never miss a single upload on this channel, and give this video a big thumbs up by slapping that like button down below if you guys just simply love Dragon Ball for what it is. Now, this episode really was relying on so much, especially after the failure that was of Super Dragon Ball Heroes Anime Episode 18, in that being such a boring fight after all of the hype that went into this episode being made, and now we have the continuation or likely finale of Gogeta versus Hearts in this promo anime episode. And as many people are asking, was the episode worth it? Well, that really all depends, because as the episode began, we got to see how Gogeta was creating this massive blast as a means of countering Hearts' gigantic meteor-like attack. And at first glance, I said to myself, okay, well, what is this blast really going to do? Because it just looks like a casual blast. He didn't do the final Kamehameha, the Big Bang Kamehameha. I mean, Gogeta didn't really do the Stardust Explosion, the Stardust Breaker. It was just an ordinary rinky-dink blast. And I get it, because this is just an ordinary rinky-dink rock that Hearts just so happened to have launched at Gogeta. So the expectation level here is kind of mediocre, in the idea that here we have two beings that are supposed to be incredibly powerful, and all that's really being done in the beginning is having Gogeta just launch a simple ki blast, and Hearts sending in this massive meteor from space, in the fact that he thinks that it's actually going to do something against Gogeta. But what I really enjoyed after the horrible beginning was seeing the fact that the blast that Gogeta had initially created had no effect in stopping the meteor. So I said to myself, okay, well, this at least kills the cliche moment of Gogeta just one-shotting this giant rock, because Hearts had a lot more influence on this meteor than we originally thought, and that's what forced Gogeta in channeling all of his power in the form of one massive Kamehameha. And just thinking about how strong Gogeta is, in the fact that he really had to pour in a lot of his energy to kind of hold this blast back, what I really enjoyed about the background characters, which were Piccolo and Trunks, Jiren, Hit, 17, they actually ended up getting up and doing something to help Gogeta. And this, I think, in my opinion, was such a cool thing, in seeing Hit and Jiren side by side with Gogeta and assisting him in blasting away this giant rock, which again, I think with the powers of all three of them combined, it was a really cool thing to actually see everyone get involved, or at least Hit and Jiren, in the fact that Hearts then was flabbergasted as to what he could do. And just seeing Gogeta next to Jiren, I think, is a great thing, because we never got to see any form of a fusion come about in the Tournament of Power from Universe 7 side, right? In seeing Vegeta or Gogeta, so this is the closest thing we'll get to that. But as soon as their collective attack was able to penetrate this giant rock, what ended up happening after was the fact that Hearts was just basically succumbed to all three of their attacks, while Piccolo and Trunks and 17 were tasked with destroying all of the fragments that were raining down onto the sky. But what I wasn't expecting initially when seeing this was Hearts actually surviving all of their attacks, and this is what prompted Gogeta in charging right in at Hearts. What I really enjoyed though is seeing how Hearts was smiling. You guys can go back and see the episode for yourselves. He was smiling at the fact that he was going to go in there with Gogeta until Gogeta literally punched this dude's glasses into pieces, and I really like that a lot, because after he ended up smashing his glasses, what Gogeta followed in doing was smashing the orb that was directly centered within Hearts' chest, that was basically giving him all of the powers of the Universal Seed. And although this was a little rinky-dink, I think, in the fact that it was so poorly executed just to have Gogeta one-shot this thing. I mean, nobody else was able to pick up on the fact that this was the center of his power, right? The Universal Seed that was in his chest. But then towards the end, it's like Hearts had like this Merge Zamasu moment, right? If you guys go back and remembered when Merge Zamasu died, he was smiling. I mean, even though he couldn't believe that he was killed by mortals, what I really enjoyed about Hearts' death was seeing the fact that he actually accepted it, because here's someone that really wanted to eliminate all of the gods, all of the angels, the Daishinkan, the Omni King, because he didn't want the mortals to be ruled over by a bunch of deities, and he had this idea that if they get rid of the divine hierarchy that was the gods, then mortals can live in harmony, right? So towards the end, we get to see how Champa and the other gods are at Zeno's place, along with the Daishinkan, and this kind of got me wondering, okay, well, what in the world was Beerus and Champa and all of the other gods and angels, including the Daishinkan, doing on Zeno's world? Like, were they just simply playing hide and seek? It was really weird in the fact that the Daishinkan actually knew what was going on. The Grand Priest knew about everything, and he was actually really happy to see Gogeta and the other mortals take care of business. But this also got me thinking, okay, well, if the Daishinkan was actually there, would he have been able to easily just take care of business? And after seeing what we saw, I think so. And what was cool about this is the fact that Zeno and future Zeno were playing hide and seek, with the Daishinkan having to step forward, you know, to tell them that everything is, you know, okay or whatever. It was just kind of like a very cliche moment. It was what it was. As of course towards the end, I really enjoyed how Gogeta had like this final moment with Hit and Jiren in basically saying goodbye, right? Just saying see you later, and that was something that I really did not expect to see, because I'm a huge Gogeta fan, I'm a huge Jiren fan, and as they ended up talking, what was cool about this was they separated, and then Vegeta immediately caught this attitude, right? So Goku had to calm everybody down. It was a very peaceful ending. I think that the overall battle with Hearts was very mediocre, right? This is supposed to be a being that had the power to destroy, right, said individuals like the Omni King and the Daishinkan, but towards the end, it's like nothing ever came out of that, right? Here you had Hearts that was supposed to be a beast, and he ended up just getting one-shotted through the chest, so it was what it was. But in case you guys were wondering about Few, we finally get to see Few in his laboratory, and he was having a great time. He was laughing, he was just enjoying himself, because his initial plan, right, his idea of what he's about to do has not stopped, right, because he still has plans, he still has this motive, I think, to get back at everybody. So we have not seen the last, I think, of Few. We have not seen probably the last of Jiren. We have not seen the last of Hit or anybody else, because we understand that, I think, going into March, we are going to be getting the new mission, the Super Dragon Ball Heroes Big Bang mission, which is also going to be something that I think a lot of us need to look after and just pay attention to going into March. But overall, this fight with Hearts, I feel like could have lasted a bit longer. I'm going to do a massive breakdown slash overview of this entire arc to give you guys my honest opinion about everything involving Cumber, the return of Merge Zamasu, Kamioren, Ultra Instinct, all that stuff. So make sure you guys are on the lookout for that. But I do want to get your overall thoughts on what you guys thought about this, because I think that this episode had a lot of potential. I think that this fight had a lot of potential, because a lot of people originally thought that we were going to see Gogeta tap into, you know, perhaps Kaioken or Super Saiyan Blue Evolution or perhaps Ultra Instinct, and none of that ended up happening, right? Not a single thing that all of the fans have predicted came to life, which was very unfortunate, because they could have done so much, I think, with the overall concept of pushing Gogeta. And I love to see Gogeta more in action, but they could have done more, I think, to allow the character to struggle against Hearts, especially again, if Hearts was supposed to be someone that supposedly was able to take down the Omni King with complete ease. So I think that that overall narrative, in seeing the fact that Gogeta was so casually able to go in there and just smash Hearts into pieces, it was what it was fitting. I think for Hearts to smile in the end and having to realize that, yeah, this is it for me, and now it's my time to go, but even then, it just felt a little weird because I felt like we could have gotten so much more out of this, but it was what it was towards the end. In case you guys have missed out my manga chapter breakdown for Super Dragon Ball Heroes, it's much more different than the anime, so I do encourage you guys to check that out. But I want to get your initial thoughts. What did you guys think of this episode? Did you guys like the episode? Did you guys hate the episode? What were your overall pros and cons about this episode, if you guys had any? And if you have any thoughts or predictions going into what may end up happening in the future, then let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Again, thank you all so much for your time. Thank you all so much for watching. I do greatly appreciate your support. Tune back in for the next video, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you guys down in the comment section below. Take it easy, guys. Peace.
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming.
Also follow UnrealEntGaming on these social media platforms to stay connected at all times. And if you don't, then very soon you will all be dead! Oh, did someone say UnrealEntGaming? Oh my god.
The fuck, Zarbon? Put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes. Jesus Christ, that's huge! What, Broly?
Freezer.
Uh-oh.
Prepare to die!
UnrealEntGaming, but once you get video, lots of likes, or Bill will turn you into chocolate!
Vados, get over here! Tell these mortals that I'm the biggest UnrealEntGaming fan. This is my moment. I'm a part of his notification squad. Universe 7 can have all the fun. I just want the food.
And don't forget to leave a comment on this video. Show some love for the best community on YouTube.
Kakarot!